Okay, so we're recording. Hello, this is Renee Manfred with What's Your Passion? Our passion is your passion. And this is basically a first greeting with Charlie Heritage. And we met on LinkedIn, which is one of the programs or platforms that I'm really getting really more into. And it's building relationships and it's meeting good people like Charlie. And I'm really kind of understanding who we are. So instead of having just a basic conversation, we're doing this video and we might be able to, we might be using this for repurposing purposes. So Charlie, I appreciate you being on board. So you are in London, am I correct?
I'm just outside of London, so I'm in a place called Reading. So it's a stone's throw from London. So on the train, I can be in central London in about 20 minutes. So
Wow.
yeah, in terms of how far you guys have got to travel, I know in the States, I'm fairly close.
So a few weeks ago, you posted a picture of your daughter with spilling the milk, and I
Yes.
reposted that because I thought that was the cutest thing. So she's what, like less than 1 years old?
No, she's a bit older. She is just
Oh,
gone 2 in September. So she's 2 and a bit, 2 and a few months old. My son's about 2 months old now. So two of them keeping the
congratulations.
hands full. Thank you very much.
That keeps you busy.
It definitely does. Yeah, it definitely does.
So again, we know when you look at LinkedIn, both of us met on there. I've
Yeah.
learned a little bit about you. So you've been in basically sales. Is that kind of give me your background and where you are and what do you do for your services and how do you help people, things of that nature?
Yeah, absolutely. So I've been in technology sales, primarily the Microsoft space, for the last coming up to 5 years. I did take a stint out of that and was in cybersecurity for a large organisation called OpenText at one point. And now I'm sort of focusing on building my own personal brands. There may be another role coming up that I'm potentially going to take alongside those sort of lines, where I'd potentially be building up others' personal brands as well on LinkedIn. So that will also be sort of sales. So things are potentially in the pipeline, but alongside that, I'm just looking to sort of add to LinkedIn and some other socials through my own sort of thoughts and ideas, really. I know sort of when you reached out, you mentioned you were looking to sort of build out I think you mentioned a sort of platform and community. So it'd be interesting to find out a bit more about that and what it is you've got planned.
Right. So I think you joined my community, I believe, right?
Yeah, the school community, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So throughout for me, my background has been in different businesses for several years: health club business, insurance, real estate, and currently I have a lawn care company and transportation. So we move people and we do crew changes on the tugboats.
Yeah.
And through the years, I've always coached, trained, and taught individuals on how just business, right? How to sell, how to get licensed, whether it's insurance or real estate. And so through this course, when COVID happened, I said, you know what? I'm looking at everything online. I'm seeing Grant Cardone and all these different individuals who the reason they blew up was because they were videotaping everything they're doing, right? And sometimes you get stuck and you get okay, how do I do this video thing? How do I get into this mood? And it's kind of like it becomes part of your work day.
Yeah.
And I think that's where a lot of people are caught on that. In today's world, we have to start doing and moving. And the only way you're going to learn how to do this program here, StreamYard, or how you're going to do Zoom, or how you're going to do any kind of video, is you have to just do it. And so I don't have a technical background, and maybe like yourself, but I've always been good at basics of marketing. I've always been good at the basics of really just utilizing the social media for what it is, and instead of posting just information, whether it's my dinner, what I ate today, what I did today, it's more educational. So I feel like there people are missing the point that when you look at the social media is the new TV. This is the new TV. This is the new communication. And if you're wanting people to know you, like you, and trust you, you have to be on these platforms and you have to share what is it that you actually do, right? if you're not sharing what you do, then I call that a secret agent. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I like that.
I mean, you're James Bond. Okay, so and just like with real estate, we have individuals that, again, with real estate this past year, that they didn't do any business, none, zero. And then I go to their social media pages and I'm telling them, okay, well, the reason you didn't do any business this year because you don't have nothing to show people what you do. So just because you're not, it's how do you expect to get busy if nobody knows what you do to get busy, right? So you're gonna have to start with the end in mind, and you have to visualize yourself sometimes being that person, but you got to portray it and you got to put it out there to get it. And that's where I use this platform and my community to where the What's Your Passion community is all about, really bringing people together like you from all across the country. You have skills and talents and things that I don't know. So basically between us all, we're helping each other grow our brands, grow our businesses, and really kind of get ourselves out there, because we're playing on each other's stages, right? So by somebody seeing you on my stage, it may open up an idea or a concept. Oh, he might be able to help me out with that. The same thing with me. So it's kind of like playing on each other's stages. So that's pretty much where I'm at. What's Your Passion is just, I came up with it just because everybody has a passion. And I think that a lot of people are just lost on how to move, how to really get it going. And they might already have a product, and they might be good at doing hair. They might be good at being a contractor. They might be good at being an electrician. But I just got off a podcast with a good friend that he deals with addictions. And so he helps people who have addictions with NAD, and this NAD, either intravenous or with tablets and vaping. It helps people curb the addictions that they have, whether it's mental, whether it's alcohol, whether it's drugs, whatever it may be. And we're talking about, the reason that we got connected, because his now wife met me about, I guess about a year ago at a networking event. And she was saying, I really want to get you in touch with my at that time boyfriend. Now they just got married a few months ago. And she shared with me what he does. And I said, that's fantastic, because my brother died now going on 2 years because of alcoholism, depression, all these different things. And if I would have known better at that time, maybe somebody to put him with, it could have potentially saved his life, right? So you never know how these things go. You never know where the relationship's going to go. You're in London, I'm here in New Orleans, Louisiana, and sometimes you don't know where it's going to go. So this is just kind of like a first meeting. So I do this with individuals on, every couple of days, really, pretty much. I'm using LinkedIn as a portal, because I think LinkedIn is just a phenomenal platform that, again, most people don't understand it. You understand it, and I understand it. And I think we're taking advantage of the opportunity where we will probably be the future teachers of utilizing the platform. Is that what you see?
Absolutely, yeah. I think that's kind of my plan. And I think, as you said, you mentioned there that the only way to kind of learn is to start doing it and using these platforms. And by doing that, you kind of become that person you can envision, right? So that is my plan. I started about, I think it's about 5 or 6 weeks ago now, posting daily on LinkedIn. And you just learn every day what content is resonating with your audience, what people want to potentially see more of, how to write more engaging hooks. So I think the real lesson there is just start taking the first steps, and you kind of learn along the way. And then, as you said, you kind of meet people on that journey, and you help each other through networking. And as you say, in the future, you know, I plan to be one of the ones helping others and teaching others how to sort of benefit from the platform. I think there's so much potential that people aren't tapping into, and I think at some point it's going to, maybe the personal branding on LinkedIn is going to be turning into a sort of case where it's not a choice whether you start posting on LinkedIn, but it becomes kind of a prerequisite to winning business, right? Because in some ways, if you're looking at two different, for instance, real estate agents you just mentioned, one's posting very regularly and one's not. If you haven't got not much else to go by, you're normally going to trust the person who's posting regularly, right? Because you can get a bit of an understanding about who they are and what they're doing. But yeah, I think there's definitely a future in building a personal brand on there, and I think we're going to start seeing more people trying to do it, and certainly over the next few years benefiting from it.
No, I think that again, I'm gonna share a little bit on the LinkedIn page so people can kind of see your screen and see what you're doing and what I'm doing, and so we can kind of give some people some information and education while they're on this, because I think visual sometimes helps people understand more. So when people go to your page on Charlie Heritage, I mean, looking for your next sales superstar, and the things that you're posting, as I'm seeing it, it's just basically like today. I think you made a post a few earlier this morning. Only 3% of people who start Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu ever make it to purple belt. So that's pretty interesting. So you're a Jiu-Jitsu?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I am. Been doing it for a number of years now, alongside a few other martial arts. But I use that one is because a few reasons. One of them, I know that actually it's got quite popular. In terms of people actually reading about it. And the second one, because it's typically known to be quite a hard martial art to sort of go far and master. So just to probably share something that's probably quite unique to me also for my personal brand, because there's really not many people in the sales world doing it. And there is a few that I know, but alongside that, it's probably a bit different.
That's awesome. So, I mean, it's just like any sport. I did karate when I was younger. I think I got up to brown belt, and then, just life took over. I wasn't as disciplined back then, right?
Yeah.
I played football, and again, I was good, but I didn't turn into great. I was supposed to go play ball for college, and I tell you sometimes go back and it's like, God dang it, man! If my mind wasn't so playful at that time, because I have friends that we would go out drinking the night before the games and stuff, and you kind of get into these bad habits, right?
Yeah.
And I was surrounded with individuals who weren't as driven, and I wasn't driven because of that. So it's like, I see when you're going through this, I mean, that's an accomplishment of getting through that process, the discipline you've had to go through for the years. I mean, how many times you go per week? You go through a couple of days a week?
Yeah, it varies. I'd say minimum a couple of days a week, so twice per week. It has been more in different seasons. Sometimes I can find a bit more time to get there, or it might be that I've signed up to a competition and I've kind of got no choice but to get there to make sure I feel ready and I'm sharp for it. So it varies, but minimum of twice per week, for a number of years.
That's awesome. So, and you say, so you're showing that when you're doing your post, and I think you and I probably follow the same individuals on LinkedIn: Jasmine, Alec, and Shanae Murray, Justin Welsh, and they're all teaching pretty much on a daily basis. And their channels have grown into, high 100,000s. I think Shanae's almost to 1 million, and it's just incredible when you look at the other platforms, Facebook or TikTok or Instagram or YouTube. It's kind of like a play on them, but it's like I'm finding that I think LinkedIn is giving more value. I feel that you can do more on it. Is that what you're seeing?
Yeah, I think I've tried different other channels and social channels, and they will have definitely different approaches. I think in terms of business, for sure, I think LinkedIn is the go-to channel in my opinion. As you say, there's a few others in the UK that I've seen. I can't remember their names, but I've seen within a year they've done some really impressive things. Whereas on other channels, it's not potentially something they would have been able to accomplish. But I think there's a lot that's coming from LinkedIn, and I think if you do stay consistent, the sort of growth seems to come. And as you say, there's a lot of names you mentioned there where they've got massive followings, but if you look back, they've been very consistent over sort of a period of time, which has enabled them to get there. And they've inevitably learned from making a number of posts and sort of adjusting their sales along the way.
So in UK, so everything's a little different there. So like YouTube, is that the same YouTube or is it different YouTube?
I think it's exactly the same. I think
And then what
exactly.
about like Facebook or TikTok? Are y'all the same or different?
I believe it's all the same. We do all use all the sort of social channels, but I believe it's the same. And I think businesses tend to try to use a mixture of all of them. Whether or not they're doing all of them well, I don't know. But I think the personal brand, in terms of your business, I think LinkedIn provides a lot.
So I just came across the video you did with your daughter. I mean, that's just, I guess I'm trying to always figure out on a daily basis, like, what is it that gets people's attention? If you figured out some different things you're doing that's getting people's attention, like on this, I'm so surprised you only got 2 comments, right? And then sometimes you look at comments and you look at likes, and I'm like, that was like the funniest thing I can ever see. But it's like I'm always trying to figure out what is it that's getting, what are you finding to get people's attention, or what is it that people want? You ever think, what is it that people are looking for? Is what I'm always trying to figure out. Okay, what is it that people want and what are they looking for? Are you seeing that in some of your conversations or clients you're dealing with, and figuring out how to help get the algorithms and get your stuff going viral, getting it out there?
Yeah, I think there's a few things I'd probably say on that, and sometimes what people say versus what they actually do engage with, I think sometimes it's different. And quite often you might see some people say that they want a post that's going to provide value, but sometimes the stuff that goes viral isn't necessarily a valuable post. It actually might be humorous.
Right.
I haven't engaged in too many humorous posts. And if I have added some humor, I've also tried to put sort of a message behind the post still. I think.
Yeah, well, exactly what you did here. I mean, sometimes things don't go to plan.
Yeah.
And what you did here is you used,
what
I feel is something that but don't cry over spilt milk this afternoon. So you kind of added the personal story to what we don't know, right? We don't know. So I thought that was a great little post, and it gets people's attention in some way, shape, or form, and they come across your channel, and that's what you're doing. We're all fishing in a way to figure out who is our audience. Who's looking for us, it's kind of like dating in a way. It's figuring out who is the people we can connect to help. Is that what you're seeing in your?
Absolutely, yeah. And I think now I've been posting consistently, I've been able to kind of see a bit of consistency along the types of people who are resonating potentially with my posts. And as you say, actually, it's helping with the networking, because I feel like we're having this conversation. I've spoken to a few other people off the back of posting on LinkedIn, which could lead to sort of other partnerships, etc. as well. How have you found it's affecting your sort of strategy with LinkedIn by your posts? Are you sort of getting good feedback and then adjusting, or?
No, I mean, I think for me, what I'm learning, and I'm not sure if you're doing this yet, but I've been doing a variety of things. So when you look at newsletters, I don't know if you've started the newsletters yet.
I have not, but I do plan to at some point.
So I think newsletters is one of the things, because you have email newsletters, right? And what happens with an email newsletter, you're trying to get people to subscribe to your newsletter to get on the email newsletter, right?
Yeah.
And you have to strategically get it out there. And what I found with doing newsletters on LinkedIn, it's giving me the opportunity where I've got 462 subscribers just over the last few months when I first started this, mainly because it's just informational things that I'm putting out there. So instead of creating just an email newsletter, but in turn, what happens is this newsletter here, when I do a newsletter, it's posting into other people's feeds. And also it's going to their email. So it's crazy. So LinkedIn has really kind of made this, they're getting the platform to the point of really awarding people like you or myself that are bringing value to the channel, whether it's creating newsletters, it's creating videos, it's creating images. So I'm trying to, on a daily basis, just add value. Like you said, like yesterday, I just put together this newsletter, which is just about the school system, right? Is the school system a scam? Unlocking the real path to success. So like you said earlier, sometimes we have to use different hooks to get people, oh man, what is that? What is this about? Right. And just kind of having I use ChatGPT. I use different systems. I have a program called Blaze.ai that helps me create the basic content. And then from there, I'll pretty much fill in some basic additional information based off of either personal or this is how I'm using it. So this is what I've seen. What most people are not paying attention to is the value of LinkedIn and the ability of building the relationships on a daily basis. I'm increasing the numbers of followers. And when you look at analytics, I don't know if you check your analytics a lot, but I love it because it kind of gives me a guide of what's working, what's not working. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And when I look at here, like this morning, okay, I mean, yesterday I was a little bit in the red, but today, I'm 3.2% up in post impressions, 0.4% up in followers, up 42.1% on newsletter article views. Think about that, right? It's like every day what we're trying to do is like, okay, what's working, what's not working. And the new subscribers over the last 7 days is 10, right? So where else can I go and again, I'm saying this from a perspective of free advertising, right? Where else can you go to build relationships like you and I are building, and getting people when they're going into your channel, they're knowing a little bit more about who you are and what you do, right? So, I know my banner is not perfect. Everybody's saying, well, Renee, your banner's too busy. I might change it, but for right now, that's my banner, right? So I'm basically just pointing out that in my banner, I have a podcast show. I help people turn their passion into profits, and you're paid on the problems that you solve. So that's how I'm doing it. And so I know I need to probably come down a little bit more, be more specific, but that's where I put in my bio here is I help support entrepreneurs with building their story. Now I do retirement and insurance plans, and I deal with business development, real estate, and things of that nature. So it's a combination for me. I'm a little bit diverse. So I'm trying to figure out, every day is like, okay, what is it that's, the topic for today, right? So my podcast show right now, we are interviewing, people like you. I interview with another group. We have attorneys that we're building their marketing plans, and we'll go in there and for one day and basically create a whole 90-day worth of content by just going in there with our team, and we do a whole day of video, and we chop those pieces up into shorts, and then we show them how to scale their businesses by using the power of video, by using LinkedIn. And sometimes they don't have a team that they have to do it. So that's where, between myself and some partners, JV partners that I've made, that's what we're doing. We're helping people really understand the power of everything. And some people are not comfortable because they don't know how to use the platforms. And so that's where we're having to kind of do it for some people.
Okay. Yeah, that's really interesting.
So podcasting is the most effective way, if you don't have one yet, is just like what we're doing here. This is just a lot earlier. I did a live podcast. So the live podcast, using this platform, StreamYard, you're able to stream it to different channels at one time. So that was a live podcast, but it saves it. And then when it saves it to all the channels. So now I've gotten content. Now I'll take that content and I'll put it into another program, and it'll spit it out into 30 different pieces from that one piece of content. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Perfect sense.
Because it's like I'm trying to every day, it's like you're doing, you're posting, and it's the psychological part that all we're trying to do is just get our message out there. The more people see us, and the more people see us. So it's like you just can't do one post anymore. You kind of have to have at least 3 to 5, if not 10 posts on a daily basis.
Yeah.
To really get people to notice who you are because of the noise, right?
Exactly. I was going to ask you if you had a certain amount you posted on LinkedIn a day, because as you said, there's so much noise. Sometimes it's hard to cut through, isn't it?
Yes. So I use a program called Blaze.ai for that.
Okay.
It helps. Are you familiar with that program?
No, I'll have to take a look. I'll have to check it out.
So Blaze.ai,
Yeah.
I'll see if I can share the screen on that one, just to kind of, because I'm going to be doing some future testing teachings on that one, because it's really helped me out because of my time. I'm not able to sit down all day long, and I'm sometimes in a field. So Blaze.ai is a program that you can create the content, and it has Chat GPT and things of that nature kind of built into it. And so when you put the information in by creating something new, and you can basically choose what are you trying to do. So, I mean, you have so much you can do with it. You can create blog posts, you can create newsletters, you have multiple LinkedIn posts. So just kind of give you an example. I mean, this just kind of has all the different things that you want to do in one place. So it eliminates me having to hire a marketing company to do it. I basically just create on my own, and then I schedule the post. And so the post kind of has different schedules to where for the next 30 days, I have multiple posts going out on a daily basis, every hour, every 2 hours. Challenge there. So like you have a content calendar.
Yes.
And the content calendar helps out with just kind of seeing how many posts are going out for that day. So it's like today's the what is today? Today's the 18th.
It is, yeah. 18th.
So a little slow on loading right now, but basically it's going to schedule out like maybe, I don't know how many I got today going out throughout the day, but it's probably going to be, I think, somewhere around 10 or 12 different things going to go out. I have to check. So, but that's just one little tool, right? So it's like anything. What I'm trying to do is just find my audience. I'm trying to figure out those individuals who are either wanting to be on a podcast, share their story, joint venture together, like you and I potentially can joint venture on some things as we're starting to kind of learn about each other's business. And as you're into my community, I'm trying to build out my school community right now to really kind of figure out what is it that people are wanting. So some people are at different levels. Some people will never get to yours and my level, right? They're just not. So it's trying to figure out some individuals, how to help them through either doing things for them, with them, or teach them, right? So it's either somebody's going to come in and say, listen, I just want to kind of play around with some things and learn some things. And then some individuals want to have help implementing some projects.
Yeah.
And there's different tools that I can use. Like, I'm an affiliate for a lot of these programs. So if a person becomes part of the program with me, I'm gonna give them a coaching and help them through the process. I have some clients that I'll charge anywhere between probably $1,000 to $3,000 a month on whether it's working with them on a weekly basis with their mindset or strategies or what to do this week. Certain opportunities that come across with my field of real estate that I partner with individuals with the certain ideas. So I have 3 different projects. One's EV charging stations, which are basically building these almost $2 million projects on the sides of the interstates. Do y'all have EV cars in London?
We do have EV cars. Yeah, it is growing in popularity.
So you have chargers, like places where charging points.
Yeah.
So here in the U.S. and Louisiana, they have a few, but they're not grown yet. So it's just like it's a blue ocean here, to where we're staying in it. We're going to see how the administration has changed. But we also have a truck parking, which is big issues with truckers parking because they can't drive 24/7, so they have to park. So we partnered with another company called FinPark that basically has an app that is like Airbnb for truckers. So there's different little projects that I do that I just find out where people are, what they're trying to accomplish. And then certain things, because of my background, because it's a little diverse, If a person wants to, start up a lawn care business, but they've never done it before, I can pretty much show them step by step how to do it. I deal with people who are, they're employed, and I tell them stay employed, take advantage of the corporate America structure for as long as you possibly can, and then work on your skills on a side, right? And the benefits to that, if they set up an LLC, then the taxes that are coming out of their income, because they have a side business, you can get that money back.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit about some of the things that I'm trying to do with me, and so it's growing. It's because I've been on here pretty much daily. I'm posting. I really just started doing it over this past few months. Last year I was dabbling, but I finally just clicked. It just something clicked and say, you know what, I just need to go all in, because I'm tired of seeing the people who, when I started a few years ago, it's like all of a sudden they're blowing up, and you have to look at it. It's a job. It's part of your daily. If you want to grow, the only way you can grow is online. There's no other way for me. Yeah. And I'm trying to build a laptop lifestyle, because my service-based businesses have all gone up in expenses. So from an owner of a traditional business, everything is going up. Insurance is going up, labor costs are going up, the prices are going up. So, and then people don't want to pay more. So it's kind of like I'm getting to that point now to where, but at the same time, I do tell people that if you have a skill and you're good at electrical, plumbing, contractor, whatever it may be, that's a needed skill. That's a needed service for a lot of people, because we all still need it. Everybody still needs grass cutters. They still need people working on these tugboats and driving boats. So the world we live in today, I feel that everybody wants to be in a self-employed entrepreneur, creator, things of that nature. But sometimes, because the way it is, that you need to keep your job so you have that steady income,
of course,
and build your skills and your clientele on the side. Is that what you're kind of seeing?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that is what a lot of people are doing. I think that is definitely the recommended advice, because also I think a lot of people start building their skills and trying to offer sort of their side hustles alongside their day job, but they're often finding they might have to pivot and find market fit, and what they're really going to do once they sort of go full time and launch a business. So I think there's definitely benefits to keeping the day job first and building small on the side. And the thing is as well, it kind of takes all the pressure off. It gives you some more sort of headspace to actually explore different options and be more creative. I think once you've got so much pressure on you and it's sort of do or die, sometimes people allow it to get to them, and their brain probably gets a bit overwhelmed from it. So I think, but on the flip side, I think some people we have seen people go all in and leave their jobs. So I think it's always a situational dependence on who the person is. But
yes, are you familiar with Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Yes, yeah, I am. Yeah.
You know how many people do not know about Rich Dad Poor Dad?
Quite a lot of people, I'd imagine.
This book came out in 1999, 1997, somewhere around that period of time when I first was exposed to it.
Yeah.
And it's amazing to me today that I tell when I talk to a lot of people, and I tell them, so listen, you need to read Rich Dad Poor Dad, or you need to go to the YouTube and just video and watch it, and so you can understand ESBI, which the school systems don't teach this.
Yeah.
And they don't really teach it in a way that really, because the teachers can't really explain it totally, because they're not self-employed, or they've never had a business, right?
Yeah,
so it's kind of like the world we live in. It's like if you never run a business, the world is a business. Our households are a business. And just like with me, I've gone through ups and downs. I've gone through bankruptcy. I've lost everything. I built it. I've had several different businesses. That you can't get comfortable in today's world, because things keep on changing. And so I tell everyone that you just have to kind of learn these different skills, that you're always reinventing yourself and you're always going forward. But the whole goal is keep your job, or create that. If you have a job, stay with it for as long as you can, build up that income, build up the savings. At the same time, self-employed, it will save you on taxes. Plus, at the same time, you'll learn the skills. Over time, you'll be able to grow a little business. And, sometimes you don't want to have a whole bunch of employees, because, the more employees you got, the more problems you got. So subcontracting is what I'm doing a lot with, that I'd rather just sub work out. So if I come across a project that you can possibly do that I'm not good at, then I'll just sub it to you, to where you can help our clients. So we kind of partner up together, right? Like, what are give me some of the skills that you're good at, that you're helping your clients with, so we can kind of know where certain clients can look at what you do. What are some of the things that you can help clients out with, and what are you looking for in clients?
Yeah, absolutely. So definitely with B2B sales, so business to business sales, B2C sales, I've got a lot of experience in as well. Digital marketing. I've been involved in different digital marketing circles and spaces for about 10 years, sort of from quite a young age. And personal branding, for sure. Moved into that more in the last 6 months to a year, I'd say. And building out social channels. But my two main strengths would be digital marketing, B2B sales. They mesh together very well.
So how does the B2B sales? So if I have a product, I come to you, and what you're able to help expand that into your area, and if we get business from that, you pay on compensation, commission, or how does that work?
There's a few things how that could look. What I have done in the past is consulting. So, for example, for a VC-backed firm that just started their actual sales system, and I've gone in and helped develop it, brought in some junior sales staff, helped coach them, and then also built out a strategy going forward, and help them receive more VC funding. So I went in and helped the sort of CEO and the COO during a 2 to 3 month period. So that's one of the biggest projects I've done in terms of B2B. Other than that, what I can do is sort of small consulting pieces, or mostly with startups, not necessarily scale-ups, but ones in the initial phases where founders are needing to get a lot of initial traction. I've had some great experience with.
Okay, good. Okay. What time? I see it's dark out there. So what time is there where you are?
Yeah, it's coming up to 5 p.m. But it gets dark about 4:30 at the moment. Now we're heading into winter. What is the time over where you are? Is it in the morning still?
So I'm right at 10:45 a.m. here.
Nice. Okay, yeah.
And we start getting dark now, right around at 5 o'clock. We start to get dark. So yeah, we're on a Central time. So do you have a website, Charlie? Or I guess being in London, what are some of the ways that people can get in contact with you, whether it's LinkedIn or certain ways?
LinkedIn would be best for now. I do actually have a website in production that I'm hoping to have out before the year is up. But LinkedIn would be best for now.
Well, so you're in my community, I'm telling everybody that's in the community, I'm trying to figure out a way of how to help people understand when they come into the community that the goal is, share content, use the platform in the school for sharing content. And so people can kind of get to know you. It's like any networking group, or just like LinkedIn. My goal is to really kind of just get people into the community. It's free. It doesn't cost anything. I'm building out some courses, and maybe you and I can possibly work on a course that some of them are free. Some of them will be charging soon, because I feel like everybody has to. Sometimes if you put a price on something, some people take it more serious.
Yeah.
So I'm working on that platform. So in the community, just, utilize, just kind of sharing some of your content, some of your ideas, and what you feel is going to help people in the community to where they can start really kind of knowing you and really understanding. So anything you feel comfortable with sharing that you feel is going to be valuable for the people in the community, use it for that. And then for you and I, just, we can just kind of figure out as we're learning about each other's business and what we're doing, how we can help each other and work with each other more.
Perfect. Yeah, that sounds really good. As you say, I'll have to think about what I can add into the community. It'd definitely be something I think I can post to start adding some value for everyone.
Yeah, it's even like repurposing some of the stuff you'd already doing on LinkedIn. I mean,
yeah.
I'm open to that because a lot of the people in the community, they're not on LinkedIn. I'm trying to move people on LinkedIn so they can kind of get to know and understand that's where everybody's at. So you got billions of people on it, on these social channels, but you got to learn how to do it. So you got to get yourself on it. You got to get a banner. You got to basically learn how to do these certain things. So utilize the school for sharing information so we can kind of start helping people see that, hey, if you're not on the LinkedIn channel, that's where we are. Follow us on there.
Perfect. Yeah, sounds good.
So I do appreciate you coming on, and it's really a pleasure getting to know you better. I'm looking forward to potentially just kind of building our relationship. And to the next time. So Renee Manfree, What's Your Passion podcast, Charlie Heritage. If you want to visit him, you just find him on LinkedIn is probably the best place. And also myself under Renee Manfree. Thank you. And you have a great day. Bye-bye.